Yes, yes, yes. Mr. Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And today, we look at Dereck Chisora versus Alexander Usyk. And we look at the aftermath. The title of this piece is Baptism of Fire. Dereck Chisora gives Usyk his real introduction to the heavyweight division. As you may well know, Usyk has fought at the heavyweight before, prior, but I don't think he had ever experienced anything quite like this. Dereck Chisora came out with the game plan and the strategy which I had outlined in detail previously. I said that Dereck Chisora had to take it to Usyk. He had to go Joe Frazier style. He had to dig to the body, up to the head. Body, head, body, head. And he had to press him. He had to press him along the ropes. He had to apply consistent pressure. And many people responded, well, Dereck can't do that. Dereck can't do that. The Usyk wrong foots. Usyk with the Ukrainian dancing. They said he would wrong foot Dereck Chisora all night. And at times he did wrong foot Dereck Chisora. But I got the antidote for that too. But actually go listen to the live show. But I'll share it here too. There's a music gun. Okay, so but for the most part, I outlined what Dereck Chisora had to do. Body, head. Applied pressure. Push Usyk back against the ropes. And consistent applied pressure. And that's exactly what Dereck Chisora did. He consistently walked forward. Walk down Usyk, and oftentimes, as Dereck looking nice and fresh early in the fight, and oftentimes, for the most part, that's what Dereck Chisora did. Applied consistent pressure, and guess who was in attendance ringside? You know, it was a crowdless event. But guess who snuck in the back door? Anthony Joshua. And Dereck Chisora followed the blueprint almost to a T. Pressuring Usyk. And then when they got up close, tied him up. Well, actually, Chisora didn't really do much tying up. Did a little bit, but his intention was to keep that pressure on. Keep Usyk on his back foot as much as possible. But Usyk, the slippery with the slippery Ukrainian dancing, managed to survive the onslaught, but only just. Because Dereck, made no doubt about it, Dereck was taking it to him, applying that pressure. And I think it was quite shocking to the people who told me that Chisora cannot execute the game plan I had laid out for him. They said Chisora couldn't do it, but Chisora did, for the most part. And it got to, I said that the first 6 rounds could be Chisora's. After that, the gas tank would become an issue. And sure enough, in the 7th round, at the end of the 7th round, it looked like Dereck Chisora was out on his feet. This is the 7th round right here. Coincidentally, it looked like Dereck Chisora was out on his feet. And I said that in the 8th round, he would be gone. Usyk would take him out. But it was not to be. Dereck Chisora came out in the 8th round and survived. and carried on, rallied on, and shockingly, surprisingly, was still there in the 12th round. And in the 10th round, deep in the 10th round, Dereck Chisora was still taking it to Usyk. It was quite incredible. There you see the size difference. Look at the thickness. Look at the difference in the thickness. And it leads to the question, is Alexander Usyk underpowered? Underpowered at the weight? Have you ever had a big car with an engine that wasn't big enough to really give it that oomph? Yeah, well, I have. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's okay for cruising, but if you really wanna put the throttle down, then not as responsive as a smaller car would be. And I draw the analogy to show that Alexander Usyk could potentially be. I asked the question, is Alexander Usyk underpowered at the weight? That's certainly what it looked like to me. Alexander Usyk is underpowered at the weight, even in the 8th round, when Dereck Chisora looked to be out on his feet in the 7th. Even in the 8th, Alexander Usyk, box clever, was somewhat risk averse. It's very intelligent of him. Didn't put himself out there, kept things nice and tight, but he couldn't put knackered, shattered Dereck Chisora away. And in fact, this is the 10th round that I spoke of. Damn, it's almost like I planned this. This is the 10th round that I spoke of, when Dereck Chisora was still taking it to Usyk. What a hell of a fight. And what did we learn? Well, I think what I learned from this was clearly Usyk, when you apply the tactics which I've just outlined, he can be gotten to. You can get to Usyk if you use applied pressure. If you go body, head, you confuse him. Because Usyk confuses many with the Ukrainian dancing style, and he conserves his energy by employing primarily arm punches, and then he cleverly switches it up when he gets his body into the punches. So he switches it up on you. You think, yeah, it's another jab coming, and I've taken those all night, and then boom, puts his body into it. And that's one of the keys to his success, is varying punch power. He alternates it very cleverly. But Dereck Chisora showed that Usyk can be gotten to. And the question is, how would he fare against the heavy hitters at the very top echelon of the division? I'm not including Deontay Wilder into this, because Deontay Wilder hasn't got the movement of a Chisora, doesn't have the versatility of a Chisora. So I'm not including Deontay Wilder into this. As a matter of fact, we got a live show later on where we'll be looking at Deontay Wilder's latest utterances. It's blaming everybody. It's blaming the ref, blaming his trainer, blaming Tyson Fury, calling him a thief. Yeah, we'll get into that. Tune in for that live show later. If you have not already subscribed, please make sure you do so. So you can also hit the bell icon so you can stay updated with news and notifications. And remember, the title of the piece is Baptism of Fire. Dereck Chisora gives Usyk his real introduction into the heavyweight division. And what a great fight it was. Thoroughly enjoyable by all. Okay, and while we're on the topic, Savannah Marshall versus Hannah Rankin. That should have been the fight before the main event. Instead, we got what's his name? Damn, I've forgotten the guy's name. It's not Skelton, whatever. Versus Kambosa. That was, as I anticipated, drawn out affair. But fortunately, during the live show, I had some cats up in here who were prepared and willing to engage in topics other than boxing during that fight. Because really and truly, oh my gosh, don't need that before the main event. Savannah Marshall versus Hannah Ranking was far more entertaining. So please, Eddie Hearn, think about the fight before the main event. Future times, please. But in the meantime, what can I say? What a fight! What a fight! It's one of the few fights that I'd be happy to watch again. Mr. Raphael Dawkins is the Combat Radio. Leave your thoughts and observations below. And be sure to tune in to Boxing Talk with Rafi. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 9 p.m. UK time. And we've got a lot to chop up, a lot to dissect later on tonight. It's a Sunday. It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribe. It's the comments. It's the shares. And it's the hitting the bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. And dang, what a fight. And I'm out.